call it a rug. Rhymes with Grug. I call this one a ride. Rhymes with Grug.
That doesn't really rhyme.
Call this an air fryer. Rhymes with Grug.
Ooh, I like that one.
I call this a droideka.
What?
Rhymes with Grug.
Where are you getting these things?
Call this one the Southern Border Crisis.
Oh!
Rhymes with Grug.
Why are you doing this to me?
I call it cyanide. Rhymes with Grug.
Please help.
I call this a bug's life. Rhymes with a Grug's life.
All right, you know what? That's
And I
enough.
call this a...
No, seriously, please stop. All right, all your ideas are terrible. Just enough.
I call it curb stomping.
Ah! No.
Rhymes with Grug. I call this getting mugged. Rhymes with Grug.
I can't feel my anything.
And I call this an A10 warthog. Rhymes with Grug. I call this one a slip and slide. Rhymes with Grug.
There's only pain.
I call it a good dad. Rhymes.
Are you sure?
I don't understand any of this.
I call it peak. Rhymes with Grug.
Somebody please kill me.
And I call this one rhymes with Grug. Rhymes with Grug.
The sweet release of death.
I call it style. Rhymes with Grug.
My bones.
I call it
April 12th, 2036.
rhymes with Grug. I call this a pixie stick. Rhymes with Grug. And I call this one crude stew.
Does that rhyme with Grug?
And I call this Battlefront 3. I want it. Now. And I call this a thug. Rhymes with Grug.
Gang.
I call this one crippling depression. I call this a Part 49 leak. Rhymes with Grug.
Stop.
And I call this one...
No, seriously, I beg of you. Please put an end to this nightmare.
I call it Xbox. I call this a hospital visit.
Stay away from me.
We're going on an adventure.
No!
I call it a pug. Rhymes with Grug. I call it a Switch 2. Rhymes with Grug.
Overpriced games.
And I call this one Rhymes with Grug 2. Rhymes with Grug 2. The endless cycle continues. I call these younglings. Rhymes with Grug.
Just pull the plug.
I call it dementia. Rhymes with Grug. And I call this a job application. Does not rhyme with Grug. I call it dementia. Rhymes with Grug. And I call this an ender pearl. Rhymes with Grug.
What did I do to deserve this torment?
I call this Afghanistan.
Ah! Why are we even here?
That's the question we were asking for 20 years.
Ah!
I call it dementia. Rhymes with Grug. I call this one the moonwalk. Rhymes with Grug. If we could curse on this channel, I would be. I call this a peanut allergy. Rhymes with... I call this cheating death.
What?
Rhymes with Grug.
You came back from the dead just to keep torturing me?
Have you seen the views these videos get? We're gonna milk this thing for every drop we can.
Ah!
Yeah! Call this a mug. Rhymes with Grug.
Ah!
Call this hair loss. Rhymes with Grug.
Why am I alive?
I call it foreshadowing. Rhymes with Grug. No. I call it arson. Rhymes with Grug. I call this one Rhymes with Grug 3. Rhymes with Grug. Tree.
What?
Grug tree. I call this therapy.
So how have you been feeling since our last...
That one doesn't rhyme with Grug either. I call this the entire Crudes movie. It's a good movie.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
I call it dementia. Rhymes with Grug. And I call this one a Grug. Rhymes with Grug. Hi, Grug. Hey, Grug. Looking good, Grug.
Oh, why are there two of you?
I call this a Chug Jug. Rhymes with Grug, Grug. Well, cool idea, Grug. Thanks, Grug. I love you, Grug. Please let me die, Grug. And I call this a shameless plug. Rhymes with Grug. Go to bluntbrosproductions.com. And I call this running for president.
Grug Crude promises to be a man of the people, for the people, and he dreams of seeing our nation united as one, rhyming with Grug.
I would like to let the American people know that my opponent is a frog.
Hello. Don't think. Vote Grug.
I am Grug Crude, and I approve drunk driving. I would vote for you, Grug. Thanks, Grug.
I call it the atomic.
I call it flint and steel. Ramsey Grug.
No!
No. I call it nuggets. Ramsey Grug. I call it Grug. That one does not really rhyme with Grug at all. I call it Ramsey Grug 4. Ramsey Grug. I call this a shirt. I call it a mushroom. Rhymes with drug. Dad, what are you doing? I'm just saying everything that rhymes with Grug or not. Oh my gosh, did I forget about my rug? I call it my rug returning! Runs with my Grug returning. I call it the Galactus popcorn bucket, aka the world's largest popcorn bucket. Ramsey Grug. I call this a I call this a Lego set. Ramsey Grug. And guess what? I call this employee revaluation. Finally, I'm away from that Grug. I call this a broken TV. Ramsey Grug. What? You came back after breaking the TV? Guess what, Eep? What? We're going on an adventure. Really? Yeah! I call this being in 3D. Ramsey Grug. What? Ramsey Grug? Seriously? What, Grug? Well, speaking of Ramsey Grug, we have Gordon Ramsay. Ramsey. You know what? Forget it. Now, I'm gonna have to do rhymes with Grug. I call this a talking flower. It rhymes with Grug. I call it rhymes with Grug 5. Rhymes with Grug Untitled. What? This is Untitled. I call it Chicken Jockey. Rhymes with Grug. I call this an Italian brain rot. Does not rhyme with Grug. I call this a cloning machine. Rhymes with Grug. I call it Murder Drones. No. I call it a belly flop. Rhymes with Grug. I call this a Jet 2 holiday. Rhymes with Grug. I call this one Rhymes with Grug 6. Rhymes with Grug. Brick wall. I call them shoes. Rhymes with Grug. I call her Ugga. Rhymes with Grug. I call this the new Smurfs movie. I call this a barrel. Still alive. Who said that? Me, Grug. I'll see you sometimes. Who's that old lady that knows me more than you? It can't be Gran. Please, it can't be Gran. Let's hope it's not Gran. Yeah, Dad. I call this a bad user. That one does not rhyme with Grug either. I'm 51 years old, so I got myself a cake. Nope. Eep and Uga did. Grug, here's your birthday cake. Oh, thanks, Eep. You deserve a great birthday, Grug. Ha! You guys thought this was the end? This is my cave. Rhymes with Grug. I call it Doug. Rhymes with Grug. I call this a truck. Rhymes with. Are you gonna say it or what? Grug! I call it the Fantastic Four. Rhymes with Grug. I call it the Super Mario Bros. Movie. That one really rhymes with Grug. I call this end the credits. Rhymes with Grug. And I call this one Rhymes with Grug 7. Rhymes with Grug. Henchman. Grug Henchman. I call this the one chip challenge. No reaction. My beard has been burned. Who's gonna save my dad? Never mind. My beard has not been burnt. I call this the orb of darkness. I call this a Cybertruck exploding. Rhymes with Grug. I call it Borderlands 4. I want it now. I call this a banger. Could you stop this right now, Grug?
Not till you die.
Okay. We're doing this as a family! I call it Triangle vs. Monkey Season 4. Rhymes with Grug. I call this a Tommy gun. Rhymes with Grug. Give it back.
No.
And I call this one Rhymes with Grug 8. Rhymes with Grug. Great. I call it a time machine. Rhymes with Grug. No, you'll never have it. Oh, really? No! I'll show you where the orbit goes. No! No! Eep, Uga, the pack stays together with you, Thunk. I'd like to see you, Dad. Yeah, Dad. Let's hope that Gran does not get us. Wait, is that all the way? Hey, Gran? I gotta figure out a plan. I'll have to grab the orb and break it open, and we save the day. I call these Takis. Rhymes with Grug. Oh! You know, I have friends like this Grug
Rhymes with Grug, Grug.
and this Grug.
Hello.
I call it Godzilla. Rhymes with Grug. I call this the Ender Dragon. I call it a rhymes with Grug 9. Rhymes with Grug Swine. I call this an abstraction. Rhymes with Grug. I don't need that rug anymore. How did you get the muscles? Prepare to feel my lightning. Whoa! I call these slime balls. Rhymes with Grug. Ow! Why am I getting slime everywhere on me? Release the bribery! Get him, Sandy. Ah! Bah! Bah!
Ready to die, Grug?
I have an idea. I would rather see something like the orb broke. We defeated her minions. Yeah, we did it, Ugg and Thunk. No! Look what you done to my poor little minions! Gran, I knew it was you.
Oh, really?
Wait, come back! Ah! And this is how we live a happily ever after. Oh, I can't wait to get revenge on Grug.